The fifth P. Personify. Tell your neighbor, personify. Personify. Everybody in this room came here with nothing. And everybody in this room will leave with nothing. And we must face that fact the soonest possible. So, I'm a big advocate. Separate your portfolio from yourself. Separate your portfolio from yourself. Separate your assets, the things you own, from yourself. In our experience of dealing with especially families, wealthy families, we've observed that there are three big headaches that almost all of them face. Number one is, who will inherit me? Who will inherit me? Number two, how will they inherit me? And number three, how do I ensure there is equity? I distribute my wealth equitably. And as you know, the children of today are even more activists on this issue of equality. So, listen to me the next few minutes if you want to avoid this issue. The most important thing when you start thinking besides yourself and how this wealth will go to generations upon generations is a family trust. We need a family trust. This is the most important action I can recommend to all of you today. Put together a family trust. And what is a family trust? A family trust is really another person, a legal entity besides yourself, that holds those assets that you've been working for many years to accumulate. And these assets are professionally managed. Professionally managed to generate passive income. They are professionally managed to generate passive income, and this income is for beneficiaries that you have put together. I want this to be my beneficiaries. And all this is done with the oversight of a trustee or trustees. That's why it's called a trust. So you're thinking beyond yourself, beyond your lifetime, not even just beyond you, but also beyond your current children, the generation that you're seeing. You're thinking way 100 years from today. How will this thing that I've started today go 100 years? So a family trust is a legal entity, a person by themselves. They hold the family assets, and those assets are professionally managed to generate passive income. And that passive income will benefit the beneficiaries that you have designated, and the whole thing will be overseen by trustees that you will have appointed. Now, I know some of you may be thinking, I'm not old enough to have a family trust. I'm not yet in my 70s and 80s. No. Actually, the best time to put together a family trust is before you start accumulating assets. So that you're putting together your house. You're putting your house in order from a very young age. There's a word that I heard recently, that it is good to mature with a trust. So as you are, with the longer the trust exists while you are still on this earth, the more you're able to refine it and purpose it properly for those beneficiaries that you foresee in the future. So a family trust. Now, a family trust also comes with advantages. And one of them that I really like is tax advantages. In a family's trust setup, you can distribute up to 10 million shillings to each individual in a year without incurring any tax. And also, a family trust does not, any assets which are moving to the family trust do not get, they don't become subject to stamp duty. So it has some very serious tax advantages. And I'm reminded of what of the saying that my people are perishing because lack of knowledge. This is something that is very available within our regulations, local regulations here. So the other thing that I really like about a family trust is that it keeps the family united. It keeps the family united. It does not matter how much God blesses you. But when it comes to the point of distribution, and you're distributing assets, you will have one challenge, and I can guarantee you today. Even if you have 3 children and 3 assets, each worth 1 billion shillings, there will be one asset that all of them will be wanting. So they will fight you and they will say, Mommy favors this person because they give them the asset. But that conversation is completely unnecessary in a family trust situation, because all assets are held by the trust for the benefit of the family. So it forces the family to come together. You get? Now, even if you are to succeed to go over the hurdle of distribution, equitable distribution, and you say you have your 1 billion property, you have your 1 billion property, you have your 1 billion property. What have you just done? You've encouraged your children to go separate ways. You had 3 billion. The power of 3 billion is very different from the power of 1 billion. So this brings me to a statement that I hope it changes your life. Your children do not want your assets. They want the cash flows from the assets. Put it differently, the best inheritance you can give your children is passive income, not an assortment of assets. The best inheritance you can ever leave your children is passive income, not assets. Why? So, if, for example, one of you is so blessed to have one of the most successful malls in the country, and you say, this is what I'm going to bequeath my child with. I'm giving you this mall, you run this mall, and your life will be okay. Guess what? You might be very surprised that your child is not interested in running a mall. You are assuming that they're interested. No. They like what comes from the mall, not the mall. Yeah? The other thing is, you might say, my child does not have the capacity to run a mall. Those are realities. The third thing is your child was probably called to be a pastor. Why are you turning a pastor to run a? Or they were supposed to be an investment professional like me. They are supposed to be leading NABO. But now you send them to run a? The mall will fail. So separate these things. Your children need, the best inheritance to your children is passive income, not the assets can be managed by people who are not even your relatives. But they are better managers than your relatives. Sawa? So, Proverbs 13 verse 22 says, a good man leaves an inheritance to his children's children, but the wealth of the sinner is stored up for the righteous. I think unless you go over this issue of family trust and how to safely transition your assets to the next generation and generations, your wealth is likely to be eaten up by other people. And we have seen it. We've seen it. So, a good man is one who puts together a family trust. A good man is one who thinks beyond themselves. A good man is one who knows what my children need is passive income, because each one of them, they have a unique purpose given by God, and it may not necessarily be aligned with these assets. That's a good man. He's not leaving trouble to their children. Yeah. So, those are the 5 P's. Can we go over them? What's the first P? Package. Second P? Hey, why am I hearing papers flipping? This is in our heads now. Number 1 is package. Package yourself, right? Number 2? Pay yourself. Number 3? Produce. For who? For others. Produce for others. Number 4? Portfolio. Number 5? Personify. Meaning, separate yourself from the assets. So, as I conclude, and I don't conclude like pastors, it's one conclusion. Jim Rohn said, people who fail to plan to fail. People who fail to plan to fail. We have shared some amazing wisdom nuggets. You need to plan how to action those nuggets. Another statement that I found interesting is the same guy, Jim Rohn, said, if you don't design your own life plan, chances are that you'll fall into someone else's plan, and guess what? They have no plan for you. Not much. If you don't design your own life plan, chances are you'll fall into someone else's plan, and guess what? Guess what they have planned for you? Not much. Not much. So, what am I saying? If you want to continue with this conversation, you need to plan for the next 52 weeks. Because the next big thing is what? Income, increase income. And I have been humbly invited to play a role in that, as God will enable. So I look forward to seeing all of you. We will also be sharing, opportunities that we want to tailor specifically for TKC within NABO Capital, so that this is not a theory class. This is a practical class. This is a place where people will be having testimonies. So I challenge all of you, please go do your family balance sheets. Put your active income somewhere, number, your passive income somewhere, we will be monitoring that on a month-by-month basis. And I'm hoping to see graphs that look like that. God bless all of you. Thank you so much for having me.
Wow, Pius, thank you so much. I think he deserves another round of applause. Thank you so much for sharing. They didn't ask at the beginning, but maybe now you did another one. So who has one question he has asked? Inaitwa, we are absorbing. Sponge is happening. Just one. Go on ahead and ask.
Can someone give her a mic? Or can she get closer to a mic? Or you want to come here?
Please come.
Just come here. Don't be camera shy.
Thank you. That was very, 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 very enlightening. So I just wanted to know, even as you talked about PERSONIFY and family trust, so what if the assets that you have are things like land that are not really income generating? And so how do the managers translate that to income generating for your children? Yeah.
Thank you. That's a very good question. The reason why you want your assets in a family trust professionally managed is because you give that headache for generating passive income to professionals. You get? The reason why many of us have assets which are generating nothing, and I call them dead assets, is because we don't have the time. We simply don't have the time nor the expertise to do that. So if every family in the country would have family trusts which are professionally managed, I believe the GDP of this country would change significantly, and would have lots of jobs created, because we have a lot of dead assets which are not being looked after. So those dead assets should be, especially those ones, should be transferred to a family trust. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Pius. We have been enlightened, and I'm looking forward to the next 52 weeks. Are you like me? So thank you so much. We appreciate you taking time, sharing from your wealth of experience and expertise, and challenging us that this is possible. Let's appreciate Pius Muchiri again, and we really, really look forward to the next 52 weeks of increased income. Before you leave, I'd like to invite our visionary coach Irene to come. And she's going to appreciate Pius for coming. Doesn't she look lovely? She told us we needed to come here with a touch of gold. You didn't get that memo. Coach Irene, karibu sana.
Thank you, Reverend Trufi. Why don't we put our hands together and appreciate Pius and the NABO team. And I just want to invite Mercy. Mercy works with Pius to come so that we can appreciate them with the fruit basket as they continue being fruitful at NABO and helping us to figure out fruitfulness too.
Thank you. One of the things that we've learned at TKC with spiritual intimacy is to be on point.